Hello, friends. Welcome to Turn a Stone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome in. For today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at the month of July 2025. So we'll see what the month of July has in store for you. We'll be looking at major themes, some energies that may be present for you, some events that may be occurring in July, and we'll get some advice from your spirit team for how to best navigate the month so that you can meet with your best results and your highest good. Please choose from one of the three piles we have here. I've chosen three cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck for you to choose from so you can direct your reading that way. Pile 1 is here with the Play card. Pile 2 is here with the Trust Your Path card. And pile 3 is here with the Ever Unfolding Rose. Timestamps are in the description box below. Please click ahead to your chosen group, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. This is a look at your July 2025. We have some really interesting cards for you with a lot of synchronicities going on, so I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get started with your reading. So first, I must tell you, there were actually two of these Work Your Light cards that came up for you. And the first one was Play, which you saw in the intro. This one says, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So you're encouraged to have fun, to enjoy some lighter times in the month of July. You also got a second card here, and this card is Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So interesting combination with these cards, Play and the Mintaken card. Because the Mintaken card, this often has that feeling of homesickness, that feeling of longing to be somewhere else, longing to fit in perhaps with another group, a group of like-minded souls perhaps that you feel maybe you haven't even met yet. Whereas, the Play is a much more lighthearted energy, whereas this one carries a bit of, of longing, of, some discomfort that's leading us to kind of cast our gaze over the horizon with this Mintaken card. A lot of water energy coming from these cards. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you may be one of these signs or have these signs placed prominently in your chart. Not important if that's not the case, but there is a lot of water energy here. That may be confirmation for some of you, but very interesting cards. So perhaps some of you would like to spend some time near a body of water. I think that's very encouraged for you in the month of July. If you can spend some time near the water, that might be very soothing for your soul. Maybe you're taking a vacation of some kind here with this Play card. Definitely, Spirit is advising some lighthearted time, some taking time out, even resting by a body of water or taking a bath, going for a swim. All of those things I think would be very revitalizing for your spirit at this time. All right, so let's take a look at the cards that came out for you. And we have the Chariot and the Knight of Swords being in your kind of primary energies for the month. So really interesting combination here. I see that you're wanting to move forward with something, move on with something. But your cards are suggesting there may be a bit of a blockage happening for you, and you're probably aware of this already. But when we have the Chariot going into the Four of Pentacles here, the Four of Pentacles is kind of like, stop, hold the phone. I know you want to get going. I know you want to achieve this goal. But I've got something to discuss with you, which I think is kind of what your reading is saying here. So with the Nine of Swords card coming out here under this sort of energies column, I'm seeing that you may have maybe some concerns, some worries about moving forward. There may be some fears you're dealing with, anxiety, maybe just some uncertainty about not really knowing. which way to go, or if you do act out, and go forward with your plans, how is it really going to be? The Nine of Swords often does suggest sleepless nights, worries, anxieties, fears. So this reading is really telling me, Spirit is encouraging me to share with you that you may want to take a look at some of these fears, some of these doubts, some of these anxieties. And this would be a good time to really get in touch with these fears and desires, and these doubts, anxieties, these things that might be holding you back in some regard. Because I think if you can understand these better, your path will become more clear. So I do see that you want to move forward. With the Five of Swords coming out in your reading, I'm seeing that there may have been some kind of conflict, some kind of falling out. I can't help but think here with this Mintakan card, maybe you were in a community that you just didn't feel like you fully belonged with this kind of community. This could be a workplace organization. This could be a neighborhood where you live, some kind of group of people that you were engaged with that just maybe wasn't really fully a fit for you. And you're wanting to move on and find something that feels more aligned to who you are, feels more fulfilling for you and your authenticity and your soul. Um, but maybe you haven't fully identified what that is. And sometimes that is the process of life, is trying different places, different communities, different people, seeing what fits, seeing what doesn't. So it's important to be patient with the process of that, I think. So even if you have been involved in something that didn't work out for you, just trust that that is helping to point you to a better outcome in the future. It's very interesting here. We have a lot about home in your reading. We've got this longing for home here with this Four of Pentacles. She's kind of holding, looks like a house there. So I'm getting the sense of, there's a sense of wanting to feel safe and secure, wanting to feel at home. But you also have a repeat of these play energies here. You've got the play card here, and then you have the Three of Cups, which is often the card of joy, celebration, playing, festivals, fun, being with friends. It can indicate all of those kinds of things. And with this card coming underneath the Moon card, the Moon often represents our femininity. So this may be a feminine group. So you doesn't matter if whether you're male or female or another persuasion, but this can often indicate more feminine groups here, or groups that are in touch with their feminine side here with the Moon and the Three of Cups. So that might be something that you want to look into for the month of July. Are there celebrations or group meetings or clubs, activities of some kind that you can enjoy with others? I was getting a sense as I tuned into your energy, a very heavy energy came over me as I started to tune in with your cards. So I think your soul is really calling for a little lightness, a little levity. I think you're processing something very deeply at this time. With the Moon card coming out, this is often sort of dealing with things in our subconscious. So I think as you're kind of working through some of these fears, anxieties, or doubts that may be blocking you, maybe looking over situations that didn't work out, whether it was a relationship of some kind or some sort of involvement with another person or other people that didn't work out. You are processing this on a very subconscious level in the month of July. I think you're working through this block so that you can move forward and find a situation that feels more home-like to you. And the Moon card is telling me, that is really prominent for you. However, this might be causing a sense of, you might be feeling tiredness, sluggishness, maybe even a lack of motivation. as you're kind of processing this situation. I think it would benefit you greatly if you could bring more levity into your life, however you find that to come to you most naturally. So for some of us, that's spending more time in nature. For some of us, that's trying new things, maybe trying to pick up a new skill or go to a new place, try a new hobby, maybe make something. Sometimes making something with your hands. I'm noticing all of these loops here. Making something with your hands can sometimes be a nice, enjoyable way to spend some time as well. So lots of possibilities there. But I really do, this reading is really calling for a great sense of levity for your month of July. So do try to bring that into your life some way, somehow. I think it will benefit you immensely because there are some sort of heavier, a little more difficult energies that I think you're needing to traverse through as you align with, a greater sense of feeling at home, a greater sense of feeling as though, you fit in your environment, or you feel at home in yourself. And you'll want to balance that out with some lightness and some laughter, I think would be very healing for you this month. I also drew some additional bonus cards for you here to get some advice from your spirit team for how you can best proceed with the month of July as you're going forward here. And one of the bonus cards that came out was the Eight of Wands. And for me, this is confirmation that if you can bring in some of this lightness, I think your journey will start to go perhaps much quicker here with the Eight of Wands. This is often a very fast moving energy. Again, I'm getting some travel here with your cards as well. Travel might be a very healing thing for you in the month of July. We've got the Chariot here, which can often indicate travel. The Eight of Wands can indicate travel, often specifically air travel, but not necessarily. So that might be very helpful to you. But I am getting the sense of sort of more ease and flow and things moving along here. If you can just kind of work with what is going on for you this month as you really start to heal through, I think, whatever this conflict was. I was getting the sense of something being revealed here for you, perhaps in July, or perhaps something has already been revealed and you're processing what has been revealed here. The moon card is often a card of revelations, seeing things with the light of the moon, things that were formerly in darkness are now illuminated. The way that she's kind of uncovering her face here with this beautiful rose, that sense of uncovering, for me, it's like kind of taking off of a mask. So I think you're seeing through some situation in July. And you're dealing with what that means and how you can navigate your future based on this new revelation. And I think as you move through these energies, again, do treat yourself to some play, to some fun, to some relaxation, to some laughter, time spent in nature if that's something that calls to you. And I think as you get through this in July, I think things are really going to start to sort of pick up speed, particularly as you get towards the end of the month here with the Eight of Wands coming out. And then I also drew from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and you've got the No Place Like Home card. So another home indicator coming up for you. So some of you may even be considering moving home. That may be on the mind for many of you watching this reading. Not everyone, of course, but some of you may be contemplating a home move. That is coming out in your Mintakan card. We've got the home and the Four of Pentacles here, and then you've got this No Place Like Home. And the Chariot can often be a card of movement. So maybe you're at some stage regarding a movement, you might be just kind of planning it, thinking about it. You might be actively working on moving or relocating in some way. But that card came, or that theme came out for you several times in this reading. So very strong theme. I'm also going to read from the book on this card too, because I think it This message will be very helpful for many of you listening. It says, number 50, no place like home. Authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit in, being comfortable in your own skin. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity. Aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. Beautiful card here. And this so much to me echoes this Four of Pentacles here. You know, this is often indicating wanting to be safe, feeling that safety is very important. To me, with her kind of wearing this sort of fancy dress outfit that she has on, you know, I'm getting a lot of sense of sort of dignity and formality, integrity. And then with all of the locks pictured on here too, there's that sense of security. So I think having a sense of security, I think in yourself and in your environment is going to be very important for you in the month of July. And authenticity certainly is also another overarching theme, both authenticity within yourself and also creating an environment around you. I think that is an authentic reflection of who you are. With some of these cards here, the Nine of Swords and Five of Swords, you may have been in a situation that, you know, maybe fit a former version of yourself that you have perhaps outgrown in some way. And you're now looking to move to a new kind of home that really matches the person that you are now, based on the lessons that you've learned, based on, you know, the things that you value in life, the things that are important to you and your soul and your spirit. So best of luck with this, my pile ones. I do wish you all the very best for the month of July, and I hope you will heed Spirit's advice here to play and have fun and enjoy, because that really came out as one of the key themes of your reading, as well as, you know, finding that sense of home. So I really hope you're able to make substantial progress with that in the month of July. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate your time and attention. If you liked this reading, please click that like button down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I hope you will do that. It really does support my channel and helps me to keep offering these free readings on YouTube. So thank you for your support in that way. And with that, I wish you a wonderful month full of light, love, and bountiful blessings. And I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 2. How are you doing? Welcome to your reading for July 2025. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you made it to this reading. Welcome. So excited to share these cards with you. I am feeling with this group a connection to Pile 1. So if you were drawn to Pile 1 in any way, I encourage you to check out that reading as well if that is calling to you. However, if that's not the case, don't worry about it. But there were some overlapping messages between those two groups. So let's take a look at what we have for you for your month of July 2025. So let's begin with the card that you were drawn to in the intro. This is the Trust Your Path card. It says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And the interesting thing about your card here, as I was kind of looking over this card, and I've seen this card quite a few times, I suddenly noticed that there is a little figure in the background here. And, you know, honestly, in all my looking of this card, I have never really noticed this little person here. So I think that there is going to be somebody kind of popping up along your path, possibly in the month of July. So there may be, you know, somebody sort of divinely sent to you in the month of July. So do watch out for that, or be aware of that, because I know that will be applicable for some of you, the way this card has come across here. But this card, in combination with your cards, is really telling me that Spirit wants you to dream big. I can see from these cards that you want to progress on your path. There's some change you're thinking of making, some dream that you want to pursue. In some ways, you may just be feeling this kind of nudge that, a change is required, but you might not know exactly what that change is yet. With the Chariot and the Ten of Wands, these two cards are telling me that the prominent energies for you in the month of July are a desire for movement forward, a desire to kind of move things along, make progress, go forward with your life. However, with the Ten of Wands, this is telling me something is burdening you at the moment. You may feel overworked, overstretched, maybe overstretched financially. Maybe you feel overstretched in terms of time. You don't have enough time, it feels, to get everything done that you need to get done. There's some sense of carrying a heavy load here with the Ten of Wands. And I'm getting the sense that you'd really like to make a change that allows you more freedom in your life, allows you to release this Ten of Wands burden. And you really are, I think, feeling perhaps that contrast, that desire for freedom. And then you're still having to deal with this sense of feeling burdened, overburdened, even, maybe stretched too thin, having a lot of demands made of you, whether they're demands on your time or demands on your money. Demands for taking care of things, a lot of demands here with the Ten of Wands card. So I think this is a tension that is ultimately going to propel you forward. So please be patient with this tension. Spirit is telling me that this sort of inner desire you feel to make a change, move on to something new, make progress in your life is indeed that's gathering momentum in July. With the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles coming out for you for the external events, this is telling me that you're really going to be thinking things over about making a change in the month of July. You're going to be gathering ideas, gathering information, even. You're going to be kind of mulling things over here with the Two of Pentacles. This is often a card of things, being up in the air, not yet decided. But also here I'm getting the sense of juggling. So this brings me back to this Ten of Wands, that you're carrying a lot, so you're having to juggle a lot. But you are looking at, underneath all of this, you're looking at making a change. I think you're feeling the need for a change, the need to get out of this overburdening situation or this overburdening circumstance, so that you can live your life more freely. And with the Trust Your Path card, Spirit is saying, you really are encouraged to go big, like really dream your biggest dream. The world is your oyster here with this Two of Wands card. I get the sense that Spirit is nudging me and telling me that, you're kind of keeping things too small, perhaps. You might be thinking, too much about small details. You might be putting obstacles in your own way. In other words, you're like, well, I would like this, but I couldn't ever possibly afford to have that, or I couldn't possibly ever do that. There may be excuses that you're mentally putting in your own way. Spirit wants you to examine those excuses. Why are you holding yourself back in that regard? Why do you think you have that limitation? I mean, certainly I don't want to suggest that, we all don't face limitations of some degree, but with this reading, Spirit is very much showing me that you are placing limits on yourself that don't need to be there. So you are encouraged to examine any self-limiting beliefs, any beliefs about the world and what's possible for you, because Spirit is pointing to something much bigger, much, I think, much lovelier, much more expressive and delightful, and something that will suit your soul, I think, much better. But you're perhaps not able to see it here with this Ten of Wands card at the moment. So I think the month of July is going to be opening your eyes to some of these new possibilities. It's going to be sending in ideas for you to consider. I think people are going to be popping up. Maybe these people are showing you new possible ways that you can live or accomplish what you dream of accomplishing. They're going to be planting sort of new seeds of ideas for you that are going to help you kind of consider new ways of living, new ways of working, new ways of loving, even, that I think are going to open your world up in a bright, new, beautiful way. Also, here with the Four of Cups and the Judgment card, I'm getting so much divine intervention here with this card. And what by divine intervention, I also mean divine protection. Do you see the way this goose is sort of shielding her? And here I'm seeing this as a sun. It may well be the moon. You know, she's holding the earth here. But it's really showing to me as a sun in this reading. And so I see this goose as kind of shielding this figure from the harshness of the sun. And the Judgment card is often the a card of the divine coming through in our sort of 3D reality. So I think the divine is protecting you from any harshness, especially with the message, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? The divine is saying, hey, look, you know, you are divinely supported in these beautiful dreams that you are being encouraged to follow. So, you know, think big, go large. Like, what in your wildest fantasies would you like to experience in this lifetime? You know, we're all only here for a very brief amount of time, and Spirit wants you to enjoy your life and wants you to fulfill your purpose. So, you're really being encouraged to expand in that way. And Spirit is coming through this reading to let you know that you are divinely protected here with the Judgment card and the Four of Cups. You know, you may even have like little spiritual animals or a spirit animal of some kind that you see when circumstances are difficult, to let you know that you're being watched out for in this circumstance or cared for in this situation. So do be aware of any spiritual animal totems that may be relevant for you. But this is a beautiful reading. You know, it really tells me that you want to, you know, pursue these dreams and don't keep them small. You know, don't say, well, I'd love to do this, but I'm only kind of go halfway because, you know, I want to avoid any, uh, you know, consequences that are undesirable. You know that Spirit has your back, know that you're being guided, know that you're being protected, and, you know, plan accordingly. I think there's some really beautiful, big, bright possibility in your future here. So your month of July is really going to be important because I think you are going to be receiving these important inspirations, these important ideas. You may be receiving an idea that's never occurred to you before, so pay attention to that. That might be Spirit bringing you, you know, a new way of looking at something that can help open up an opportunity for you. So very much a month of preparation for you, my pile twos. A month of inspiration for you too, I would say here with these two twos showing up. And, you know, things are not yet decided. You do have a lot of autonomy and power in this situation. You know, Spirit is really looking to you to lead the way here, but also encouraging you to not hold yourself back when you're leading the way. You know, be big, be expansive, be grand. You know, do it the way that you truly want to do it, deep within your heart. I'm also going to draw for you some clarifier cards here in the this is the Psychic Tarot deck here. It's so interesting, the life of a tarot reader. So I pick all the decks in advance of doing the readings, and I work with Spirit to decide which decks we're going to use for each of your readings. And this deck came out as I was going through the selection process. However, when I began the reading for pile one, Spirit hid this deck. It wasn't available at the time that I was doing the reading for pile one, but now for your reading, it has come through again. So let's see what wisdom the Psychic Tarot has to share with you here today. Very interesting how things like that will occur when you're doing tarot readings. It's just so interesting. So we have a couple cards coming out for you. I'm going to take that as, we're going to put this one here. We have triumphant success and emotional withdrawal. And then let's get one more card for you here so that we have one for each column. Spirit for pile two, please. The highest good for pile two, Spirit. And I don't know if you can hear it, but we're getting a beautiful cleansing rain outside. So I think Spirit is wanting to sort of wash away some kind of maybe heavier energy, more blocked energy that may be interfering sort of with your path in some way. And that card came through. This, memories of love, beautiful. Okay, so what I'm seeing with these three cards, my pile twos, we've got triumphant success. So I think there really is a beautiful success ahead for you. And this reading is coming through for you to help you clear these emotional blockages. You may have had, with memories of love and emotional withdrawal, you may have had some sort of difficult situation, perhaps involving a loved one. This can be anything from grief to heartache, betrayal even, I'm hearing for some of you watching. Some situation has occurred that has, I think, been difficult for you to process. And Spirit is wanting you to very much return to the realm of love. So Spirit is inviting you to use those memories of love in a very positive way, to know that you can experience this loving flow in your life once again, that you can now safely begin to emerge from whatever emotional withdrawal has occurred for you, and you will be successful in moving on. So, please take this additional encouragement from Spirit to begin to think of ways that you can perhaps emerge from your shell, maybe emerge from, have you perhaps buried yourself in some kind of responsibilities or distractions even, I'm hearing, as a way of, kind of mitigating the difficulty, the painful emotions of a situation. If you can begin to emerge from that in the month of July and start to open up the sphere of love within your being again, I think this will help you in the month of July. And then finally, we also draw for you a Wisdom of the Oracle card. And the card that came out for you this month is, wow, very much in line with your reading, number 36, Come to the Edge. And with come to the edge and trust your path, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? I mean, this is again really saying, what if you took a risk? Imagine, really pushing the envelope on what your life could be, how you could feel, what you could do, what you could accomplish, what you could experience, how your life could look. Really push the envelope in sort of a mental kind of way, a visual way this month, I think. Envisioning how you want to feel inside of your life, envisioning how you want to move through your life. I'm really noticing her movement here. There's a joyousness to her movement here with the casting of the rose petals. So really push, kind of push the boundaries sort of within your own ideas about what you can be, how you can live, what your life can look like in the month of July. And, I think you can, with this triumphant success card here, I think you can begin to see it take a really beautiful form as the year progresses. All right, pile two. That is the message that I have for you for July 2025. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please click that like button down below. And I also invite you to subscribe to the channel. It helps to promote my channel to other people so that more people can receive the readings. So thank you for your support in that way. I wish you a beautiful month full of light, love, and boundless blessings, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading for July 2025. I'm so happy to share these cards with you. I have to tell you, your reading has this really funny, punchy quality to it. It is one of the more direct readings that I have received in a little while here. So very interesting. That doesn't often happen with a reading, but it's really coming through with yours. So let's get into your cards and we'll talk about what's going on here. So the card that you were drawn to in the intro, this is the Ever Unfolding Rose card. And it says, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. Cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. I love the imagery on this card, this like big, beautiful rose. And she's got kind of a posture of surrender there. So, you know, just kind of letting things be as they are with this. You may have noticed too, there was a second card just kind of peeking out there. So let's look at that second card. Not all groups got 2 cards, but you did. And this is the Pleiades card. It says double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Channeling and uplifting humanity. Pleiades, you may feel, I don't know if you're familiar with the Pleiadians, they're definitely a star system that is said to assist humanity at this time. A very beautiful collective, the Pleiadians. Their energy has a lot of compassion, kindness, lightness, very loving energy, the Pleiadian energy. I did an entire reading channeling the Pleiades, so you may want to look into that reading if that speaks to you at all. But you may identify yourself as somebody who feels connected to the Pleiadians. They may be something you want to look into, maybe the qualities that the Pleiadians bring to humanity or something that are important for you. But very interesting that you got this. This also does suggest kind of starseed light worker qualities as well. So you may feel that perhaps you yourself are a starseed, a light worker, or you may want to look into what those things are if you're not familiar. So interesting that you got this card. A lot of sort of very heavenly astral energy coming through in your reading. And I have to tell you, so as I was drawing your cards, we've got the King of Swords here coming out with the 10 of Pentacles as your kind of dominant energy for the month of July. And what I heard was, you know, I just want my dreams to come true already. So I feel like a lot of you watching this reading are thinking, like you have been working for a long time or endeavoring at any rate to, you know, make your dreams come true. There are things that you want in life. Maybe it's a home, a happy family here with the 10 of Pentacles coming out. And, you know, maybe for some reason or another, this hasn't come together yet. Maybe it's another dream, could be a career dream even, or some kind of dream that you really wanted to come true, and you're like kind of getting impatient, I'm sensing, with the imagery that came to my mind. You know, again, it's that sense of, where are my dreams? Why don't I have my dream life yet? What is going on here? So I'm getting the sense that something has ended. And in the month of July, you are getting very practical here with this King of Swords. You're like, okay, that's it. I am going to start making some new decisions here. We're going to make this happen. Enough, you know, with these things not working out. I'm going to be very practical, and I'm going to put on my business hat, my advisor hat, and we're going to we're going to figure this out once and for all, is what I'm hearing here. So there was a lot in your reading about control, about wanting to control outcomes. I think you have perhaps tried in many ways to, align yourself with your desires. Again, I was getting a sense of an ending, so I think there was something maybe perhaps in your recent past that didn't work out, that came to an end, that perhaps didn't pan out the way that you had hoped that it would. And, now you feel like you're perhaps wanting to get very serious about, this just has to work, is what I was hearing. So a real sense of wanting to control the outcome, wanting to bring this into manifestation for yourself, wanting to make this happen, and not wanting to wait any longer. There could be that sense of impatience. So as we pulled more cards, asking for, kind of the external energies or the external events even of your July, we do have some slightly contrasting energies here. We have the Eight of Wands, which is often quite a fast-moving energy. It's things kind of sailing along, things moving quickly onward here we see. But then we have this Knight of Pentacles, which is sort of, it's a more earth-based card, and it's a much more slow-moving energy. So we've got this sense of fast and slow, fast and slow. So, you may be experiencing some quickness during the month of July, and that's going to be also tempered with some slowness during the month of July. So, perhaps if things there that you're applying for in the month of July, there may be some slowness in getting a response back. I'm getting a sense of communication here. So I get the sense of communications coming in very quickly, and then at other times communications coming in very slowly. So do be prepared for that. I think the universe is kind of coming to you with this reading and letting you know that there's a bit of a lesson going on here for you. We do have the Four of Swords card here in the reverse, and I'm getting a real sense of surrender here with this card, just kind of letting things fall where they may. We've got this, this gesture of surrender in the ever unfolding Rose card, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So Spirit is really wanting you to surrender to kind of the speed of things. There are in some ways things are going to move along and speed up, but you're also going to experience some slowness as well. And so with the Temperance card here, they're asking for your patience, to kind of surrender to the process. The patience, I think, is teaching you something about kind of the flow of life and how you can move things forward and how you can experience this process of change that you're going through here. And again, I am getting a lot of sense of impatience here with this King of Swords and this Ten of Pentacles, that sense of, where is it already? I've been waiting a long time. I really want this to speed ahead. But there are lessons to be learned here with this Knight of Pentacles energy and the way things, truly move very slowly in the earthly realm. So what can you do to, really understand that slow process, maybe things that happen more organically, things that happen in their own timing. I'm thinking of plants growing, of flowers blossoming, even, live beings need to go through a gestation phase and be birthed into the world, and that all takes time. So I think what you want is indeed coming, but there is a sense that it is going to take some time, and you're really going to be feeling that in the month of July here. I am getting a lot of healing, though. The Four of Swords is often a card that's associated with healing. The Temperance is certainly a very healing card. So I think you're healing from whatever this past ending has been. You're learning how to kind of navigate the waters into this new dream fulfillment that you're looking for here. And your soul is taking the time that it needs right now to heal from this experience and move forward in a pace that I think organically works for the being that you are. I did draw some additional cards for you from the Work Your Light Oracle deck, just to get some clarification on what we were seeing here. And not surprisingly, we got the Fulfillment of Wishes card for you here. So I think you are on the road to a fulfillment of wishes. This reading really felt like, it was speaking to the matter of fulfillment of wishes. So I'm sensing that you do have some dreams and desires that you really, really, really want to see come into being. And that does seem to be in process. However, I think you're going to have to surrender a bit to the timing of that process. Also, interestingly, we had the Deception and Envy card. And this was a very curious card. It seemed a little at odds with your reading, but I'm hearing a few things. There may be some self-deception going on, and oftentimes, we can think, oh, well, I'm just, it can't be that hard. I'm just going to make this happen. But we can often be deceiving ourselves in terms of the amount of work and effort that goes into something. So be careful about wanting to leapfrog situations or leapfrog something. You don't want any consequences that come from, skipping a step or not giving things enough time or not going through all of the proper due diligence and due process. Do be careful of that. For some of you too, I was also getting this card maybe connected to whatever has ended in the past. Maybe something didn't work out in a way due to someone's deception or ill intentions, I'm hearing. And often, that can leave us with a sense of, well, I was doing everything right. I should have had positive results based on what was going on. But then this, interloper did something to upset everything. And so now you're feeling impatient because you had already put in a lot of work, a lot of effort. You had already demonstrated your patience. So this card may be pointing to that past situation as well. However, each new situation is its own process, requires its own steps and diligence, and making sure everything is done properly. So you aren't going to be able to speed this up and take shortcuts, unfortunately. So interesting that this card would show up in your reading. Then we also here have the Rest and Rejuvenate card. And again, you've got the Four of Swords here, and this would be a similar card in the Psychic Tarot deck. So it's almost this card coming up twice here. So really it's the sense of, this gesture of acceptance, this gesture of surrender. Just surrender to the process. Trust that life is working to fulfill your wishes. Things are in process for this fulfillment to occur. However, there are some additional learnings to be gained from the past situation that I think need to be worked through in your energy field. And definitely will help to set up some of this beautiful fulfillment of wishes as well. If you think back to that past situation, make sure you're going over the lessons that you learned. What did that situation cause you to understand that you want for your future? How can you move to that desired state, your new desires? How can you be on the lookout for, to make sure that you're taking all the steps to perhaps be more aware of some of these energies that can undermine our efforts. Rest and rejuvenation, I think, may be in order for you as well in the month of July. You did get this Eight of Swords card, which can be a card of travel. This lovely Temperance card here, which can be a card of balance and rejuvenation. So you may be traveling, you may be resting. You may be taking some time out, and I think that will be very good for you. It might help to sort of temper and balance some of this this kind of stop-start energy that I'm sensing for you in the month of July. And then finally, we've got two more cards for you. I did pull a Wisdom of the Oracle card for you, and you've got the No Place Like Home card, number 50, No Place Like Home. And this card is really interesting because home is kind of suspended in midair there. So for me, this card always kind of says, you know, home is wherever you are, even if it's in the middle of the sky. You know, you take your home with you. So you may, you know, really consider that in the month of July, that perhaps some of you are looking for a new home. Or maybe that is, you know, some of the wishes that you wish to have fulfilled is, you know, you want a beautiful home here. And you've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is also often a card of home. It could be like literally a house, a home, a place to live. So a move may be something that you've been dreaming of doing, wanting to do, moving house in some way. And this card is really suggesting, you know, consider your inner state as a place of home, a place of abode, and really cultivate from the inside out your sense of home if you can. This card also speaks of authenticity, so really being true to yourself, true to your desires, you know, not being swayed by any sort of self-deception. You know, sometimes when we compromise, it can be kind of some self-deception. We can think, oh, well, you know, I'm sure that will be good enough, so I'll just do that. But really, you know, it's not being true to ourselves, not being authentic to who we are. And so we can end up in a situation where we feel dissatisfied. And Spirit doesn't want that for you. I don't think you want that for you. You really want your dreams and your wishes to be desired. So as much as you can be true to your own authenticity, understanding your wants and needs and desires, I think that's going to be very important for the month of July. And then finally, we got another Psychic Tarot card for you, and it's the beautiful Fertility card. And we've got the Ten of Pentacles here, which is often a card of family. So maybe your dream is, you know, having a family, adding a family member to your world. That may be applicable for some of you. For others of you, I think the Fertility card is saying, you know, this period that you're going through where it might feel like sometimes things are going ahead and sometimes things are coming to a halt. It is ultimately going to teach you something. You may get an insight about a beautiful way to solve a problem, for example. It might steer you in a fertile new direction where your fulfillment of wishes does truly lie. So just trust that whatever is happening for you in the month of July is going to have beautiful, fertile results. It's going to bring you this fulfillment of wishes, even if times it may not necessarily feel that way. Spirit is, you know, inviting you to surrender to what is happening, trust what life is showing you, and you will have the beautiful fulfillment, you know, and there will be a birth of a beautiful new life for you in the future. All right, that is the message that I have for you, my pile 3. If you liked this reading, please click that like button below. It helps support the channel and helps to get the reading out to more people. I also invite you to subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time I do a reading when you do that. So it's free to do. Just click that subscribe button. And thank you so much. I wish you a beautiful month full of light, love, and boundless blessings. And I will see you in the next reading. Thank you.